Hello viewers, this is your host Sushil and I am here with my new video. In this video we'll learn how to use the concatenate function in Excel. Concatenate basically is a function wherein two or more cells, text cells, are concatenated together or joined together to form a single value. Now concatenate is also equivalent to using an ampersand function and both are same and equivalent. Concatenate function can be used isolated or can be used in conjunction or as a nested function with some other functions in Excel to give the desired logical outputs. Now let us go to the next worksheet here or work tab here, and in this way in this sheet I'll explain you how concatenate can be done for numerical values. So now here there are two values, in one cell is 2 and in other cell is 235. Now generally a sum function adds this, but concatenate function just joins this. That is the basic difference between the two. Let me go over here and say concatenate. So when I say concatenate or concat, there it is. It gives me choice of choosing concatenate or concat. Now if I choose concatenate, it is join several strings into one string. That is what Excel gives an explanation. But I see a triangle here of warning or alert here, which is there because concatenate function was in use in Excel 2007 and earlier versions of Excel. But post 2007, it was replaced with a function concat. So I'm going to use concat here in Office 365 and there it is. I choose concat. Now what it asks is first thing is a text cell 1 or text value 1. By default, it concat is a function for text only, and here I'm going to choose the first text as this cell B2, then give a comma and now go ahead with the text2 value. Now I'm going to choose text2 as C2. There it is. I don't have anything else to choose here, so I'm going to close the parenthesis and say enter. So as soon as I enter, the value comes out to be 235, and if you see friends, the input values were numerical, whereas the output value here is text. In our early videos we have learned that the numerical value is always right aligned, where the text value is left aligned. So now as a result or as output, when anyone uses concatenate function, the result is always a text value. Now one has to choose or convert this text value into numerical values. How to do that? I'm going to choose another cell where I'm going to key in 1. I'm going to go to that cell, I'm going to copy it. Now onto this cell I'm going to use the paste special function. In paste special function, you see here there are operations which can be done on this cell, and I'm going to use multiply, and when any one number is multiplied by 1, it remains the same number. But now what changes here is from the text format it has got changed into numerical format, and now this value 235 is numerical in value. So when one uses concatenate and has a product with a numerical value here as a default or as a result, the outcome here is always a numerical format. Now if I go to the next cell or I choose to come out of this cell, there it is. 235 is a numerical value. I can do the same function by using ampersand here. So I say is equal to the first cell, ampersand value here, and then the second cell. When I do that, as a result, again I get the same as I got by using the concatenate function. And here if I choose to multiply it by 1 into 1, as a result the cell gets converted into numerical format. There it is. Okay, so viewers, in this worksheet we have seen how to use the concatenate function, how can it be equivalent to ampersand function, and how to we convert the resultant text format into numerical format, because by default concatenate function leads to a text format result. Now going to the next tab, here we have got a database wherein global NCAP ratings have been listed out for various OEMs and their models mentioned there in the first row or the first column A, and then the body type in column E, and the year of publication of that NCAP ratings uh, are listed in column F. Now, as a viewer or as an engineer, I have these three cells or these three cells from these three different columns of my interest which can be clubbed together rather than having them separately. So now by using the concatenate function, let us do that. I'm going to insert a new column here. In this column, I'm going to use the function concat. There it is. Now what do I need to concatenate? The first text is over here. Then the next text is over here. That is F2 or rather F3. But before I do that F3, I know from my previous work tab that anything that gets concatenated gets joined side by side and there is no space in between the two values. But in this case, I desire to return a space. So how do I do that? Or I'm going to return a hyphen here. How do I do it? Hyphen being a text here, I'm going to introduce it with the double inverted commas, and there it is. So I'm going to introduce this hyphen, give a comma, then text 3 is what I will choose. Text 3 I'm going to choose as F3 cell here. Again, after the F3 cell, I'm going to introduce the hyphen in the double inverted commas. There it is. And the last cell of my interest, that is the year of the publication, is what I'm going to choose last. And once done, I'm going to close the parenthesis and enter. There it is. The resultant has come up, Mahindra XUV300 dash 5-door SUV dash 2020. Now all these three cells have got concatenated into a single cell sideways, and now I'm going to propagate this formula for the remaining cells. I have chosen to choose the lowermost vertex of this cell which has got a formula. As soon as I go and hover over it, I see a plus sign coming up there. There it is. You see the plus sign in black color. I double click it, and by default the formula gets propagated to the remaining cells in the database here. So all the 42 cells here have got 42 rows have got concatenated, and those are the cells of my interest. The remaining columns which are of no use or of not my interest, I'm going to hide them. So there it is. I get the database right away. So here it is, the vehicle details have got concatenated into a single cell, and this is sufficient for me to create a database or a report. This is how one can use the concatenate function. I could have done it the same thing with ampersand. As a demo, I'll give a demo here. So I'm going to unhide the columns here, and now I'll reintroduce it, or I'm going to say introduce a new column here, and I'm going to use ampersand here. So is equal to the first cell, then I'm going to use and, that is ampersand side. As I already explained you, I need to give a space. So a space can be given into double inverted commas. There it is. Or I can choose to give a hyphen as we did in the earlier case. There it is. This is a hyphen. Then again I choose the and ampersand value. Then I choose the second cell ampersand value. So anything that is to be concatenated can be concatenated by using the ampersand value. And there it is. Now here I am going to choose to give underscore rather than hyphen, and that too in a double inverted commas. Then again I use ampersand, and I go into choose the last cell of my interest from this row. Once chosen, there it is. There it is. I have done what was required, and I say enter. So friends, you see, this is how one can do concatenation right away by using ampersand value as well. I can choose to propagate this formula to all the cells here. This is how one can do sideways concatenation quite comfortably and easily. Friends, as I spoke in the beginning of this video, concatenation or concatenate or concat formula can be used independently as well as nested with many other formulas. formulae in Excel. Now in our this tab or the next tab, that vehicles tab, here we are seeing the database here, wherein in column A the manufacturer name have been listed, in column B the corresponding models have been listed. So you see in the area that I have chosen, Tata is the manufacturer, and Tata's various models have been listed in various rows. Now in this example, I'm going to explain you how concatenate can be used nested with if function in Excel, and we can do resultant concatenation vertically. So this is our end result, that we what we want. So we want the Tata manufacturer to be appearing in this cell, and in the next cell we want all the models side by side listed with a comma separation to be concatenated into a single cell. How do we do that? I will give you another example. Here I have listed it, or I have hidden the columns, how it was done. So I'll just give you a brief idea how it was done. First of all, I chose to sort the database alphabet wise from A to Z. So you see Ford appeared here after sorting. Then I went on into the next columns. I used the concatenate function in nesting with if and applied it to all the rows here. As a result, I got the resultant concatenated model names into a single cell, which you see here highlighted right now on screen at K9 cell. The next thing what I did, I eliminated by applying if function again, and then finally eliminating the unwanted cells from the database. As a result, I retained this as an output. Now how did I do that? Let me give a demo with some other example. In this database we have got the continents listed, and against various continents we have got the countries listed in here. So Asia corresponds to Bhutan, Europe corresponds to Spain, America, Brazil, Europe, Italy, and that way there are various continents listed in column A and corresponding country in column B. Now let us go and sort this out. I have chosen both the columns. Now how do I sort it? I go to data tab here. In data tab I go to the sort function. In sort function now I have choice here to sort by. I can choose the column to sort by either continent or country. So first I'm going to choose the continent. Sort on, there are various options like cell color, font color, and blah blah, but I'm going to choose the cell values. In the cell values, I have got choice again from A to Z or Z to A or custom list. I'm going to say A to Z. Once done, now I'm going to choose the country column also. I need to sort it. So I choose to add label. So first it is going to sort by continent and then by country. So I have chosen the second column also, and the remaining orders and sort on I require the same. So I'm going to sort on from A to Z on both these columns. Once done, now I see the first continent here appears as Africa. So all the countries from Africa have appear one beneath another, and those are also sorted from A to Z. Same thing for America and subsequently for other continents in the cell. Now how do I use concatenate is here. Please pay attention to the formula that I'm going to use. Now I'm going to use if formula nested with concatenate. So if has got multiple choice, but I'm going to use simple if. I open the parenthesis, the logical test. Now my logical test here is if A2 is equal to A1, that is the continent name repeats from next to the from the given cell to the subsequent cell, then what? Then I want the value to be concatenated. What needs to be concatenated? Here it is concat. It asks for the text one. So now I want the first value to be concatenated as C1. Now by default C1 here is empty, but by default, you can also judge that A2 is equal to A1. This case will not be fulfilled here because A1 cell has got the word continent and A2 cell has got Africa. So when the value is true, what should happen is I need to concatenate C1 with what? With a comma in between. So I'm going to give a text value here of comma. And what do I need to concatenate is the cell value, that is B2 here, that is Angola. Okay, so my logic here is, if at all this is true, that the first or the A2 is equal to A1, then I should get the value as B2 concatenated with C1. C1 is here. Else, what then? Now I'm going to close this parenthesis and I have completed the value if true. So if true, this is the value I should get. And if false, then what should I get? Then I should only get the value B2. So this is the logic or algorithm that I applied for this formula. It was essential for me to explain you. Once you are clear with this formula, concatenate is a very simple function. It can be nested with multiple functions in a given cell. I'm going to only nest it with if here, and I hope you have understood the algorithm behind it. So if A2 cell is equal to A1, that is if the continent name repeats, then what happens? Then the concatenation of the country name in the first appearance of the continent with the next appearance of the continent is the true value, and if the continent does not repeat, then the country name which appears in the first time appearance or corresponding to the first time appearance of the continent appears as it is in case of B2. I say enter, and now there I see Angola against Africa. As we have learned of propagating a formula to the cells underneath that cell, I'm going to propagate this here. I go to the lowermost corner. As soon as I reach hovering there, I see a plus sign. I double click it, and by default the formula gets propagated for the remaining cells in the database. Friends, while I was explaining you the sort functionality, I forgot to tell you one thing. I'll just go here and give the explanation about the sort functionality. When I was sorting on the columns, you must have seen that I had chosen or I had retained this toggle button as select my data has headers. Had I not chosen this as selected, then the first two cells, that is A1 and B1, or the first cells or the title cells from these two columns would have been taken as granted as part of the database, and those two would have got sorted out. So it was essential for me to select this or choose this. Fine, I had forgotten to give this explanation, so I thought of giving you right now. Well, let's get back to our current if function and nesting with concatenate. Once done, now I have got a list of a continent versus the countries which are appearing in that continent. So as and how when we proceed to the lower cells here in column C, we see the country name goes on getting added till the time the continent name changes. So as soon as the continent name changes from Africa to America, the first country that corresponds to America appears in the C column corresponding cell. This is the logic we have applied. Now this is of not of our interest. So all these cells are of not of interest. The only cells of our interest are these ones. So how do we segregate, sort out and retain these cells? Let us go on to the next part of this video and allow me to explain you how it is. So now I'm going to again use the if function. Now it is not going to be in nesting with concatenate function. So whatever was concatenate has been done. The concatenation has been resulting into the cells C7, C12 and so on. Now these are the cells of our importance or our interest. So other cells are of not of interest. How do we get rid of them? So now if at all I'm going to say this cell is not equal to this cell, then if it is true, if both are not same, then as a result, one has to return the cell C2. This is a true value. Else, what does it return is, I would say, nothing. Nothing. This is the word that I'm going to use here. I'm going to close the parenthesis and say enter. So now, there it is. Let me copy this cell down. There it is. So this is what I have applied here for the country cell or the country column, that is column B. But I'm going to insert another column and apply the same formula over here for the purpose of the continent. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to copy the formula and paste it here. I'm going to go here and say enter the formula. So now the reference comes here. Let me create the formula again. Is equal to, if this not equal to this, then return this, else nothing. There it is. I'm going to copy the formula below, and there it is. So now what I have done here is I have applied a if function to bring in the continent name here in the D column, and the same logic or cell algorithm I have used to bring in the corresponding countries in this cell here. Now friends, as you see, these are all formulae, and now I'm not interested in returning the formulae in this cell. So how I'm going to convert those into non-formula functions is I'm going to choose these two cells, shift control down key. I have chosen all these cells. I'm going to copy it. Once copied, I'm going to right click over here and say paste special, and I'm going to say values. Paste special can be done in multiple ways. I have shown you one way. So now if I go and click here, I say escape. So I'm out of the copy control or copy paste function. And if I choose here now, all have got converted into values. So now what is of my interest are these cells wherein the continent and the corresponding countries have been concatenated, nested with if function, and sorted, segregated, and brought into our desired outcome values. But still, I see these nothing values appearing here many times more and are of no use. I can manually choose them and delete them, but doesn't make sense if the database is of 50 odd or 50,000 odd cells. So how do I get rid of this? There is a way here. I'm going to choose these two columns. I'm going to go to the data tab, and in this I have a remove duplicates function. I'm going to use those. So there it is. It asks me which all functions or which all columns do I need to consider. So select and unselect. So if I say select all, there it is. I already selected the two columns, column D and column E. So I'm okay with this selection. My data has got a header. I don't have a header here, so I'm not going to choose this. So I'm going to say okay. And once done, it says 25 duplicate values found and removed, 8 unique values remain. So now we see the unique values nothing have been retained here. I'm going to delete them, and rather I'm going to type here continent, continent, and in the next one I'm going to say country. So there it is. Our database of request values have been chosen here, and I'm just going to improve the formatting. There it is. Once done, what was desired or what was the outcome required has been achieved. So viewers, you must have learned here in this case that how to concatenate. What is ampersand? Is it equivalent to concatenate function? How concatenate can be used for vertical concatenation or horizontal sideways concatenation. Concatenation always results into a text format output. A text format can be converted into number format if required and as required. So in this example, what we saw on our screen, we have seen how vertical concatenation can be done by using if function in collaboration or in nesting with concatenate function. Fine. So here we are coming to the closure of this video. I hope you must have liked it. If you have liked it, please express your like at the YouTube channel. Well, understanding this video is one part and practicing it yourselves is another part. So I request you to go on practicing what you learn through these videos that I publish and make yourself perfect in the applications as whatever results are to be ripped out. If you have subscribed this channel, well and good, you'll keep on continuing getting my notifications. In case if you haven't subscribed it yet, please do subscribe the channel. Enjoy watching these videos. Keep learning, keep sharing knowledge. I'll be here again with you with my next video soon. Till then, goodbye. Take care.